At IBCanada Group, we are your complete and independent source on the infinite banking concept, serving Canadians from coast to coast.
I'm Steve MacLellan, owner of Design Your Future Financial Services and proud member of the Infinite Banking Canada Group, where we show you how to grow, control, and keep what you build instead of giving away to taxes, fees, and the unknown. And we have our millennial member here today. I'm very proud and excited to introduce Hayden Padalino.
Exactly.
And you are our youngest member. You are 24. You would be considered a millennial.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you got into the financial industry.
Well, previously from this, I was a mortgage agent and did that for a couple of years. The reason I got into it just because my mom has been in real estate for as long as I've been born. So it's kind of been part of like the family. Like I've been part of the conversation. So I chose to be a mortgage agent because I do like to be self-employed and have my own flexibility of time. The reason I didn't like it, which is ironic enough of why I'm now here, but like I just didn't enjoy dealing with the banks. Like they would just like nitpick on like every single thing and it'd just be super, super annoying and frustrating. And then I found this, and it's obviously ironic enough because we teach it so people can become their own banks. But the reason I liked IBC was just because you have like the one policy and you can design it so many different ways for different people's needs. So for young people like me, they could use it to pay off debt, to save for a house, save for a car, and then but that also for when you get older, you could use it for funding real estate properties, funding businesses, So I think the thing that caught my eye was just like being able to use it for various different parts of your life. So
I
that's
wish I got to commend you there. I wish I took my financial life much more serious in my 20s. I feel I did. A lot of times money is the big elephant in the room, and growing up, we didn't really talk about it. My mom did give me the book, The Wealthy Barber, when I was in grade 10. So I just had the habit of paying myself first, which served me well. But man, do I ever wish I came across the infinite banking concept in my 20s instead of coming across it in my 40s. And you being so young, why is this important to millennials and people really starting out their careers or their businesses?
I think just well, like at least in Ontario is where I'm from, but like housing prices are just stupid. You know, a single person trying to buy a house, it's virtually impossible. Like, trust me, like I've been part of like doing mortgages, like so like I kind of understand like all the different types of ways like and tests you have to go through to get a mortgage, and it's tough for being a single person. It's tough even with if you have like a partner. Like it's so difficult, and like with housing's the big one, but also like student loans, all that, um, car payments, all that, like everything, like groceries are expensive now. Like, so like it's gotten to a point where like young people kind of feel like they're stuck and they can't get ahead in life. Like they could make decent money, but they're like, I don't know why I can't save money. And it's just because like so much money just leaves their bank without them even like realizing it.
Isn't
And
that the
so
truth? And would you say, from your experience, and you're young, but you're full of experience already, mortgage world, you've come on across the infinite banking concept, you're independent advisor. What's the number one problem you're seeing that people your age or your clients are experiencing right now?
there's just so much money is like flowing away from their bank through the big thing is inflation right now. But just with taxes, with everything, and just all of that, they just can't seem to afford those big purchases or like enjoy life the way it is. Another thing is just like their money isn't working for them. It's just a lot of the times people just have their money in a bank and then just leave it there. And it ain't making any money. If anything, it's losing money because it's getting killed by inflation. So those are the few things, those big things that young people deal with.
Those are big things. And I remember, leaving. I worked in the States for a while. I moved back up to Canada and just being appalled by my first paycheck. I'm like, man, where's all this money going to? And I have no issues with us paying our taxes. It's just the fact that so much of the tax money is so mismanaged.
Yeah.
Right. And if you can have more control, and we're seeing some crazy things going on right here where we're realizing maybe our leaders and the top politicians don't actually know what's best. Maybe they're have no clue. Let's go as far as that. They have no clue what's going on. Where the infinite banking really allows you, as you mentioned, you can have more control of your money regardless of the decisions the government makes.
Yeah. I think I'll just add this. Like, I think a lot of people my age, since like mid-20s, them thinking 5, 10, 15 years down the road is just like mind-boggling when they're 20, 24. But like when you think long term, like that's you have to with money. Like nowadays with movies, it's all like action packed, like action, 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 action. With information, you can just go on Google and you get it instantly. But like, so I think we live in a world now that like we're just used to having things like right away. And with this, with like money and finances, like it's a slow, slow journey. But like the journey, like once you get there, is just you'll be far greater financially than like someone who's just going for short term.
Well said, well said. And I guess that's sometimes I look at that as one of the negatives of the infinite banking. It's not instantaneous growth. It's almost boring. I guess if you were to give a definition of the infinite banking concept, or how would you describe it?
I would, for how I would speak to like young people, just because they're kind of starting out. I think the good thing about infinite banking is that you can kind of describe it whoever you're talking to. So I think that's a very powerful thing. But like how I would describe it is like it's a concept that will grow safely without it losing access, losing the money inside of it. And with infinite banking, whatever's in your account is there. It can't just go away. So I think
Right.
that's a powerful thing.
It's vested. It never goes down, regardless what decisions the governments make or what happens in the stock market. It just continues to grow.
Exactly. And grow safely. Like what you said just earlier, like it's boring, but it works. Like all you just see is just it going up, but like it's boring, but
Yeah, you don't have the emotional roller coaster of the ups and downs, but it does allow you to make life more exciting, is the way I look at it.
exactly.
And it also complements other investments when the opportunities come around. Like you said at the beginning of COVID, that was a very scary time, and just going back there, it felt like the world was coming to an end. You remember
Yeah.
that? But
Yeah.
if you had this set up and you're able to take advantage of the opportunity that COVID provided, man, oh
Well,
man, right?
like how much like you think how much stress has been put on families because of COVID? Like imagine if everyone had infinite banking and then like, they'd all be fine because they've had vested money locked away that they can access that still grows even through COVID. So I think, obviously if everyone had it, we'd be all better off
That's awesome.
buying
That's awesome.
it.
I agree. And listen, when I'm sitting down with a lot of my clients, when I first started in the industry, we talked about retirement. But what I realized is very few people, and I'm sure this is true with millennials, even think about retirement. Retirement can almost be a dirty word, but we
Yeah.
look at financial independence. I guess what's your definition of success or financial independence?
I think obviously like not everything's money, but everything kind of comes back to money. So I think financial independence and success kind of correlates. Um, for me personally, having multiple streams of income is success for me. Always having money in motion is considered success for me, and I think that is financial independence as well. Also, I'm obviously not there in my life yet, but being able to provide for my kids and my family so they can kind of enjoy the life that life has to offer. And as well, like being able to give back to foundations, communities, like less fortunate people. I think that's a big thing of being successful, like being able to do that for other people.
Yeah, you mentioned money in motion. Eventually, be able to provide for your family and your kids, and having the ability to give back.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty powerful stuff. And the infinite banking concept kind of allows you to start that process.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as you just start it, then it's better off than just not doing it at all. Obviously, with like you said, like it is kind of like a infinite banking is kind of like a tea kettle, like it boils water, and then as soon as it hits the steam, you're golden. And that's kind of like the thing. You just gotta wait for the steam.
Just
So
got to wait for the steam. I like it. What's the biggest thing you do to help your clients? I guess what's the key to or the secret to your success?
I think just being very personable and like allowing them to like, because I'm just a young guy, and if I'm gonna talk to young people, like I'm gonna talk to them how I'll talk to my friends. Like I'll just have it very relaxed because it shouldn't be stressful talking about money. Like I'm here to help you. I have this thing that can help you. So let's just have a normal conversation. And like with like my favorite thing is like having clients like reach out to me like late at night, be like, hey, what about this, this, and this? Like trying to be creative for how to use their policy. And I love that because that's how I am. Like I always want to see like what I can do to get ahead in life, like through money. It's like what other avenues could I do to create another source of income. So like I think just being super personable and just allowing them to be comfortable with me and like asking me whatever question, if it's on a weekend, if it's late at night, and then I'll answer them or do those illustrations for them.
Awesome. So let's imagine you're at one of those conversations. You're at maybe you're at the pub, or you're having a tea from that freshly steamed teapot. And your buddies are saying, "Oh man, I'm going to buy this stock. It's a great value. It's just going to go up and up and up and up." Because we all have those conversations. What are you bringing to the table, or what are you bringing to the conversation?
Obviously, they want to do that and like they've done on the research, then like by all means. But how I look at it is, what if you have infinite banking and then you take that money and put in stocks? Because say stocks go down, you still have that money. So that never, so like the opportunity cost is never goes away. So say like if they want to do something, then they can do it, but just like be proactive. If if the stock doesn't go up, say it goes down, you still have that like kind of safety net of your cash value. But like I'm not a big fan of stocks just because very up and down. I don't want to be worried about checking stocks every day to see like where my money's at.
So true, man. Like I know when I used to do my own day trading a long time ago, and when you won, it was never enough, and when you
Yeah.
lost, it just hurt so much.
Yeah,
And
like I don't know, I could never have a life of a day trader just because like I feel like your emotions just like dictate on like what goes on.
it's so emotional. And now what I realize is you can, instead of taking all those emotions to the trying to make a ton of money, You can apply those emotions to what's really important to you, your family, your friends, just being more present.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of it. I guess if you were to share one thing that millennials should focus on, if there's just that one thing and one thing only, what would you recommend them to focus on when it comes to their financial well-being?
Think long term, like really get used to the power of compounding growth. I think that's massive. We're not used to that just because we're used to just putting money in our bank and just trying to live life, but it's not working. But yeah, think long term. Like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Like say I'm turning 25 in a couple months, but like say in 15 years I'll be 40. 15 years seems a long time, but like how if I started something now, how much further ahead financially would I be for my family and kids and still be able to appreciate life in that time. So I think young people, I wouldn't say like worry about retirement, but it can be part of the retirement, like down the road, but just starting something and looking long term for it, I think is the biggest thing.
Think long term and just get started. That's pretty powerful advice. Before we go, any final comments?
This is kind of like what I like to say to people. I think if people are watching, I think it'd be valuable. Like, would you rather make 4 to 6% on your money or less than 0.5% on your money? Because your money's got to go somewhere. You know what I mean? And obviously, on the surface, you're gonna be like obviously like 4 to 6%, but not a lot of people do that. They go with like the less than 0.5% in your high interest savings account that gives you less than 0.5%. They think logically, and like if there's two options, you have 4 to 6% or less than 0.5%. It seems pretty easy on the surface, but not a lot of people do it. So that's kind of what I like to say.
That's pretty powerful. There's the way I look at it, it's never been so easy to be successful as it is today. But then again, it's never been so easy to be distracted. And you mentioned a lot of things, the instant gratification, the fact that social media, we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, is really on steroids. And just doing what you're saying, we all know we should be doing the 4 to 6%. But what's stopping us? It's really just acting on our knowledge. So knowledge is potential power. And obviously we're trying to help people with their knowledge, but the real separator from those that do and those that don't or wish that they did is acting on their knowledge. So listen, man, I really appreciate you coming out here, sharing your experiences and what you've learned. I think the future is only brighter for you and for your clients and your friends and anybody who follows what you have to say.
I appreciate that. Yeah, like I love kind of just like talking about infinite banking, like in a casual setting like this, like being able to hopefully show people that like it's not like the way a lot of people live nowadays. Like it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to be stressed about money or stressed about like not being able to afford this and that. Like it is possible. And so I think I appreciate your time for like allowing me to talk to hopefully the people that watch this.
Yeah, I agree. And the infinite banking concept, folks, it's not a new concept. It's been around for a long time. But if you want to learn how to do it as efficiently and effectively as possible, just simply reach out to our website. It's IBCanadagroup.com. You can also reach it from IBCanada.ca. There's a masterclass and a lot of great info right there to help you get started. But then hopefully you need to take that knowledge that you've learned and put it into action. Hayden Padalino.
There we got it.
Thank you for helping people grow, control, and keep what they build instead of giving it away to taxes, fees, losses, and the unknown.
IBCanada Group, your independent authority for information on the infinite banking concept.